Hello. It's the first one of these I made for a long time, so I'll go slowly. I'll explain why in a little while, but first let's have a look at the double end bag, the double FC ball. And I see it online called the Mexican double end bag. Not sure why. Anyway, let's go. This is meant to be a bit of a review and a discussion about the differences more than anything else. Suffering from a bit of an injury, so I can't do anything too mobile, too active. I wanted one of these for a while, saw them on Amazon, and I've got a lot of, I still call them FC balls, floor ceiling ball. Got a lot of double end balls, and I just wanted to get one eventually to see what it's like. I thought it was giving you two surfaces to hit. I didn't realise they move very differently, and I haven't seen people online talking about this very much, so it could be helpful for somebody else. When I searched for it on YouTube, there's a video. You've got a couple of young people, boy and a girl. The boy is just doing that again. The girl, to her credit, does that, slips, and puts a couple of lower ones in. So that's one for the fairest sex there. What I didn't predict. And there's, if you search for Mexican double end bag, you get there's a couple of videos of some other people hitting them briefly. Then you've got Tony Jeffries hitting a normal bag, not a double end bag, not his fault, it's just the way they've categorised it. And then what you've got, rather than the Mexican supposedly double end bag, you've just got Mexicans hitting a double end bag. Not quite what I was looking for. One I noticed, not a name I recognise, but somebody who's clearly hitting well and fast, could be a very experienced boxer, probably is. He's doing it like this. And I think that's because he's just concentrating on what he's doing with his hands, not keeping his guard up all the time. I've noticed it before, I've noticed it even more recently. You get a lot of boxers who, when they're training, don't necessarily the rules. They might try to impress upon other people with guard and positioning, coming in and out and things like that. Getting off the subject already. I'm not supposed to do that. Let's start a timer. Right. What I really didn't predict is how differently it moves. Let's start off with standard floor ceiling ball. It's very windy today. Let me just check the audio level. I think you'll be able to hear this. It's very, very windy. So as I say, I really thought I was just getting a different kind of ball that gave you two places to hit. And anybody who's knowledgeable about physics, maybe mathematics, will be saying, don't be stupid. That was a ridiculous idea. When you hit this, most of the time, exceptions when you do an uppercut or perhaps overhand, when you hit this, the force is going in the centre of it, so it's acting equally on the force restraining it, stopping it from movement, the elastic force on both sides. So it's pretty even. It goes out, comes back nice and straight, and once you get it in a circle, you can keep it going like this. And let's see, put it to the test. Close my eyes. That was a few. I wouldn't be able to do it for long, but it's so reliable you can hit it with your eyes closed. That means, and this is one of the problems with it, that I know where it's going to be, so I know just where to hit it for the uppercut. It's different with one of these, very different, and it's what I didn't predict. And it's because when you hit it, you're not hitting it at the centre of the mass. And of course it's not just the mass, there's also the resistance from the bungees or whatever you're using. Unless you hit it here, of course. And then it's pretty straightforward. But as soon as you do this, it's not, and it moves very differently. And this makes it interesting. You don't know exactly where it's going to be, and of course in a fight you don't know exactly where your opponent's going to be, so in many ways it's far more realistic. Why? Largely because when you're hitting it away from the centre, you're going to make it move one way or another. Here's my my favoured balance stick for sword training. Now, simply you push it there. This doesn't simulate it being held at both ends, but it's roughly in the middle. The principle works. It's going to go like that. As soon as you do that, it's not going to. You've got some rotation, I think we call it torque, and it makes it behave differently. Just in case you're interested in the details and you're more of a physicist than me, let me put this up on the screen. Yes, I've been discussing it with what they call artificial intelligence. Don't get me started on that unless you've got a lot of time to spare. I don't call it artificial intelligence. Anyway, I asked it why, and I wanted to know what you would call this principle in physics, and it gave me some information about it. This isn't completely beyond my comprehension, but I don't understand it well. If I want something beyond my comprehension, I look at the Theorem small parameters for speaker cabinet design. Good way to go to sleep if you're ever having trouble getting to sleep. Anyway, here's the information for your standard floor ceiling ball, double end ball. If you want to read, you pause that. And here's the different information for the double end ball, floor ceiling ball. And there you go. So, well established principles. That's really most of what I wanted to say about the differences between the two. Just talk a little bit about what you can do with it. One of the short videos I saw online showed somebody, I don't know how the hell that little wasp is flying around in this wind, showed somebody using it mostly with body punches, and he was moving one side then the other. This is too light for that, and these aren't strong enough. Got one of the bungees wrong, doesn't really matter now, it just means it's not going to be as fast as it would. To do that you really need a heavy one, like the double version of your heavy floor ceiling ball. You get in a good gym, thick leather and really thick, this is going to bother me, really thick rubber straps rather than bungees. I got some that came with it, a little bit thicker, not the sort I'm really talking about. I'm not going to put them on because I tried a little while ago and the difference is insufficient to make it worth me getting up on the ladder to do it. But what I'm trying to say to you is, if you're using one of these of sufficient quality and it's hung really tightly, then it probably won't move around as much as this. It'll probably hold tight and just move like this in a much smaller area. Obviously there's advantages to this, you can hit it harder, really put force into it, but I like it moving. I should put these on a little bit more than you need gloves to hit this, but I've had it pointed out to me, it's much easier to see what your fist is doing. My others are, that I have hanging around, are black, not so good. These things here, possibly deadliest thing you can imagine, not the fists but the gloves. I wore these through summer 2023. I think it was 2023, not 2022. Hottest we've had in Britain to the average person. People on the weather reports claim this year was. Well, I know that it wasn't because I didn't need to use an air conditioner at half as much. Still, these were really, really disgusting. I let them air out for 2 years, that's how bad they were, and then sprayed them with all kinds of things. Now, first thing, of course, you can hit high and low. You can just point downwards, angle your punch, or change the level by bending your legs. Apart from anything else, it encourages you to do that. Of course, you can't really do it with the average ball, and all the time when I'm using the ordinary ball, some people talk about hitting the bungee itself, and you can do that for positioning, but it's much better when you've got the target there. One thing I noticed in particular, They'll be different with those heavier ones I was just talking about. But if you want to load up, and the theory is you're slipping and then hitting low, hitting high, it doesn't necessarily come back where you expect it to. I've got this camera secured with a bungee, that's how windy it is, so I can't really show you on the bag, but stationary on the bag, you know where you're going to go to. You know it's going to be there, unless you've really got that bag swinging. Here, when you've got it moving straight, it's the same, but let's just try. I had to work harder to make sure after I came back that I hit it and didn't miss it for the higher punch. You can't use this so much like a speedball. I've become used to hitting it in the middle if I just want it to move. You can with a standard FC ball. You can just do this as long as you want. This just moves differently. It's not as predictable. And if you looked at the screen earlier and you're able to understand it better than me, then you know why when it comes down to the explanation in physics. I think that's it really. I'd recommend getting one. If you're used to the floor ceiling ball, I've got to stop that. To the double end bag, then you will appreciate the difference. Of course, one more thing. Nice for knees, nice for kicking. Not that you can't kick the ordinary one, but this is more effective, easier to get to. I think that will do. Just about to run out of the 10-minute timer. This is really just to let people know what the difference is. It's not just a different shape that does the same thing, and it will give you an idea of whether you want to get one or not. And that's about it. I think sometimes the most useful reviews are just like that. Let me talk a little bit about, well, I've not made any videos for a while. I've been pretty ill, got an infection. A friend of mine humorously referred to it as trench foot, might as well have been. Don't know quite how it happened. That's not the biggest problem. I was still exercising. I've been exercising all the way through, but it's been 15 minutes in the morning, half hour in the afternoon, rather than proper sessions. The medication knocked the hell out of me. Really strong stuff. And I could not have lifted weights. I couldn't have gone squatting, and it messed up my sleep as well, and diet. But that's mostly over now. I'm still on some medication, but it's not having the same effect on me now. Then trying to do lighter exercise, made a complete mess of it. This was just over a week ago, and I did some split squats without warming up properly, and I did something to my left knee. Very, very sore for a couple of days. For a little while, I couldn't even move. Even shifting weight like that was really painful on the left leg. That's why I can't move too much in using this today. I will be making more videos. I want to make videos about swords, I want to make videos about martial arts, and I want to continue lifting and try to recover. I am weaker, I am less fit. Got a lot of work to do before I get too old to do it. That's it then. Nice to have made one again. Hopefully I didn't ramble too long, hopefully I didn't go too fast, we'll see. And thanks for watching. My name's Mark. See you next time. Cheers.